Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. The title of this video is Norway is Dying. And what I mean by that is that there was an article that I just recently read where it basically said that as of today, today it is the 1st of July of 2024, and as of this date, the birth rate in Norway is currently only 1.4 children per woman, which is obviously way below the so-called replacement rate, which is at 2.1. Yeah, I mean, what does this hold for the future of Norway is the question. And I mean, it's obviously a massive problem, if because what kind of culture, what kind of civilization, what kind of nation state in the past has ever managed to survive in a scenario where basically the native population of that nation state just basically stopped reproducing. I mean, it's basically historically it's completely unheard of, that something like this is that like this has happened. And what is the cause of this trend? Well, it's pretty obvious why this is happening. I mean, it's definitely got to do with feminism, with all this equality. And I'm not saying I'm necessarily against all of that, um, but all this, this liberalism, um, giving women full freedom to, uh, date and choose as they want, granting them access to the labor force, equal opportunity, equal pay. It's obviously affected the gender balance in such a way that, and women are obviously very choosy, when they are giving the freedom. Many men, in the eyes of women, they don't live up to their standards anymore, and as a result, you just have a bunch of single people in our society nowadays. Both men and women. Some women because they basically choose to remain single because what they deem to be available, or because what is available to them in a dating pool, they basically deem to be not good enough for them. So we could have, of course, a very big discussion about all of this and what can be done. And in this article that I read, basically there was a scientist, and he was basically saying that he don't think anything can be done about it. And this is exactly in line with my thinking regarding this topic, because what can you really do about it? I mean, the only solution that I can see would be to radically change things things around, and to basically go in reverse on so many of these um, women rights that have been fought for by these feminist movements and so on. And that's just not going to happen in the present environment, in the contemporary cultural environment. There's just no way this is going to happen. Our culture will just simply not accept that this happens. Um, there actually is no viable solution, because the the things that could have solved it, would require such harsh measures that contemporary society and women, and probably many men too, would not accept it. It's not going to be solved anytime soon, and the result that we are going to see from all of this, obviously, is that history will just take its course. And if it weren't for, let's say, there are certain obviously certain mechanisms that can compensate to some degree for this shortage when it comes to births, new babies into our society, which is obviously immigration. And the fact is, the fact of the matter is still, regardless of all of this, that the Norwegian population is actually increasing as we speak, despite this historically low birth rate. And this phenomenon that we see with these birth rates, it's not only isolated to, let's say, developed Western countries like Norway. I can mention a whole host of others as well, but also in the Far East, in the so-called Asian tiger states, you see a similar trend: Korea, China, Japan, so on and so on. They are also well below replacement levels. In some of these countries, they don't have immigration, so it's obviously going to cause some you know impact on the economies of these countries as well. But I think they will survive. They will be fine. I mean, Japan probably could still sustain itself with half the population or less of what it has today. I don't think it would be a major problem. Um, for sure, there would be a lot of leftover homes, abandoned homes probably, and uh, a wave of elderly people today that will require care. But this will pass, and I think, as for a country like Norway, we have immigration, so that might dampen some of the impact. For the Norwegian culture, it's obviously not going to be a good thing. Norway, in its current form, it used to be almost ethno state not that long ago, actually, is obviously not going to be able to sustain itself for the long run. Of course, there will still be remnants of Norwegian culture around, probably in 100 years from now, and maybe some of the immigrants too will adopt certain Norwegian customs and traditions. I actually do see some tendencies that some immigrants, at least, do really assimilate into the Norwegian culture quite well. So in that regard, it might not be as disastrous as some people might think. But anyhow, it is still, you should still be able to say that this is kind of a very sad and sad thing that's happening. And I remember, as I was studying in Germany for a while, I was actually talking to an African guy, and he was telling me, this was back in 2015, 2016, and we all remember what happened during those years. And he was basically saying to me, the biggest shame for a country, is to see that country just being given to strangers. So I mean, maybe here in the West we are very politically correct about these things, and if you say you want to preserve your own people, your own country, your own culture, then you are pretty much deemed as a racist. But I mean, in most places around the world, where people don't put on these Western lenses. This is a very natural thing to say, and it's normal to be proud of your own country and your culture and your people, and so on and so on. So some of this self-shame, self-hatred, you might call it, is a very typical Western phenomenon. And of course, why this is the case, you could have a whole discussion, just about this topic, of course. But yeah, so will it end disastrously? I don't think so per se, but what makes Norway today is certainly not just the borders and the geography. It's also the people, and when you change the people, you are going to see some changes, and it will be up to the future to see whether this will be good or bad. Personally, I think we are seeing some tendencies that are not good: increased division, increased crime in our society, um, and yeah, but I just don't see any solution, unfortunately. And I'm a pretty realistic guy, but yeah, I just can't see it. So anyway, I just thought I wanted to share my thoughts on this, and my opinion after reading this piece in the paper. So yeah, take care and have a nice day. Bye bye.